In your prime in D.C., you got a lot of memorable matchups. Young LeBron, AI, Cole, J. Kidd, to name a few. What one out of those that stand out to you the most, or individually?
My hardest matchup was J. Kidd, because you got to remember he's 6'4", all of 220. You know what I mean? So I couldn't bully through him, and my speed, he neutralized it, because he was just as fast, but he was quick. So when I got to take off, he can get to that spot before I gained. So when I played against J. Kidd, I had to really actually think. I mean, I scored 30, but it was one of those 10 for 21 type games. It was I never just dominated, J. Kidd. He gave me a run for my money all the time.
I hate that I didn't get to play against him or Magic. You know what I'm saying? I only had 2 seasons against them, and they were at the tail end of their thing. So John was really the one that now was taking over everything. And what it was, I used to always go into games thinking that I was going to psych everybody out. I was going to talk crazy to everybody and tell them. He wouldn't talk to me. He wouldn't even look at me. You know what I'm saying? So I think we were so silly and we were so dumb that we knew the film on him. We kept saying he was dirty, but we knew what he was going to do. And when he did it, we let him do it like a dum-dum. You know what I'm saying? So every time I got the ball on him and I post him up and I bag him in, he'll fall. Referees will give him an offensive foul. So then I started getting smart. So I started saying, okay, let me face him up. Let me face him up now and see what he does. So I start killing him. Then Jerry Sloan gets smart, and then he starts putting Byron Russell on me. So he puts a bigger man on me, and then he rests John, and then I got to guard John, and I'm tired. Now I'm already blown out because I got to stay in the game for the Sonics. Right. And so all of a sudden he coming down, and he's got all his legs. He's only playing 34 minutes. And I look up, he got 26, 16, 8 rebounds, 5 steals, and I'm like, man, he done killed me again. You know what I'm saying? He done killed me again. But it was just that 94 feet, I had to check him. Because he gonna throw passes. Him and Karl Malone's gonna come off that pick. He gonna dime it every time. He gonna come and sneak off you and get a steal. He gonna hit a jump shot. Then he go to the free throw line. He shoot 9 free throws. He made 8 or 9. So you know what I'm saying? And then he only shoots 12 times. And what did he do? He made 12. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he's so efficient that I said, man, I just can't take my eye off this dude. And when he get in the game, I gotta play him. And I just start telling my coach, let me go out when he go out, so I can be rested. Right. You know what I'm saying? Let me go out when he go out. Right. Don't keep me in the game. But at that time, we be down 15. You know what I'm saying? So we try to creep back in the game, and then all of a sudden, he come in with the third, fourth quarter, and they just take off.
That does it, Shaq? If you had to narrow it down to just one,
Big Country.
Big Country. Why?
Because guards that don't play defense, they always tell bigs to show. So I would show. And Big Country be 15 feet away, and I would have to rotate back. And he had the ugliest Duckworth one-hand jumper. He shoot it and always go in. And till halftime, I'm looking at the stats. Shaq 15, Big Country 26. I'm like, man, it's killing me.
That's how I got that Big Country.
Yeah.
All the big name point guards you faced and all the battles you had in your career, your Hall of Fame career. And who are you telling me is your toughest guy to check?
Steve Coulter.
Oh, of course, we all knew that.
The crooked leg. he had a move.
Get a ball. Get a ball.
Ball right here. He had a move.
I guard you.
I couldn't.
I guard you.
I could not.
Come over here. I guard you.
And we would call it the crooked leg. He's going right, full speed, and he would stop, plant his left leg really hard. And then he would throw the ball and then go with it. Full speed, right? And so Washington had this great scorer by the name of Jeff Malone.
Oh, yeah.
And we would come to the arena. We playing the Washington Bullets Wizards now, right? And I would say to Dumars, hey, you take Steve Coulter. I got Jeff Malone.
How about it, Chauncey?
Probably a couple guys. One, Carlos Arroyo, who, y'all see, Puerto Rican kid. He came in the league, man, and he played okay, but his numbers weren't great. But man, he was tricky with that handle, man. You had to focus in on him. So I would say Los, and then Tyronn Lue, who Shaq knows, and he didn't have this stellar career, but stayed around a long time. But he was so tough to stay in front of, and his mid-range game was top notch. And you wouldn't know that, but I know that. Unfortunately,
I gotta go with Marty Conlon.
Oh, Marty Conlon!
His jump shot was so ugly that I made up the rule. And I'm talking stuff at practice. If anybody go for his pump fake, it's a $100 fine. I went for every pump fake. I mean, he gave me about 25, and I just remember just being there like, I know his game. He can't get by me, and he just every time, and he gave me the business many times. Marty, he was the man. I
know who else, Ernie? For him, Samaki Walker used to kill him.
Oh, so you're filling in names of guys who used to.
Samaki Walker.
Hey Chuck, get us Dr. Phil, dog. I need help. I do need help.
Hey,
if I see him, I'm gonna take my ring.
The one guy who gave me business every single time, and I hate him to this day, is Popeye Jones.
You hate him to this day?
Oh, my God. This guy, I could not stop this guy.
And why was that?
I have no idea. It's like, and first of all, you asked Isaiah why Steve Coulter's killing him. You call why Big Country's killing him. Like, I can't even explain it. I mean, I wish I could. This guy's killing me.
Go back, cook him down to player impact estimate, which is, the points plus the field goals plus the free throws.
We were talking about those analytics earlier, and the thing that drove me crazy. The NBA do one stupid thing that drives me crazy. You guys see, when they have all the stat sheets, like those little packages, and they show what would a guy average if he played 4 to 8 minutes. And I'm like, there's a reason he's not playing for 6 minutes a game. Right. Like, all these guys tell me, you see, it's like, dude,
he would average 32.
Yeah, he'd average 32 and get 17 rebounds a game. That's the reason we playing him 12 minutes. That's the reason we playing him 12 minutes. But my guy's Popeye Jones, man. Every time I see him, I just shake his head and says, "You're a better man than me." Every time I saw you.
Yeah, well, I would say I had trouble with a lot of guys. But I would say that I always took pride that I used to say, and Charles, we used this saying a lot, I used to like playing against little guards because I say it's like shooting over a chair. I used to say, I'm going to get all my jumpers off today. And he was a good player, but Dana Barros, he just got rolling for some reason when he saw my face. And so, rolling. So he had his career high. He had 50 points against us. Houston. We were up like 17, 18.
Us or me?
No, me. No, wait. But no.
Just 48 on 10.
No, wait. The best part about it. The best part about it is when Sam Cassell came to the team. He didn't know I had trouble with Dana Barros. So, first 2 or 3 plays, he get rolling. Boom, boom. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get these 2 fouls.
Right.
It's not coming in. So then, Sam, foul shaving. We up. I'm like, I'm not getting the business. So then all of a sudden he's still hot. He hits like 3 or 4 more. Boom. So Scram screaming on the bench. Why you get him rolling? And I'm like, it's all you, baby. It's all you. So at the end of the game, he had 50. So Sam's like, they're doing the reporters. He's like, well, Kenny had 21 and I had 25. So we basically had 52. So it's even. It's a wash. But Dana Barros was that guy.
I think, Reggie, you're the only one who hasn't weighed in on this?
Well, mine more so, Charles said it, I don't know how he killed me. Is not so much he killed me, but I couldn't get off on him. And Isaiah knows this very well because growing up late 80s, early 90s, it was all about the bad boys in the same division. He's a Hall of Famer, but it was...
You can't say a Hall of Famer is a guy
listen to me.
You got to bring a guy that wasn't...
But it wasn't so much... He killed... Listen to me. He didn't kill me.
Hey,
No. He's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah, but when you thought of the bad boys, you didn't think of really Joe Dumars.
What?
No, you thought of Zeke.
He was a Jordan stopper.
No, listen. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But he stopped everyone. But listen to me. Joe Dumars and Isaiah, they had like a secret language. And y'all all knew, yes, the whole...
Yeah, it's called hood rap. It's called hood rap.
Right? So you got Joe, and Joe was like the gentle one, and the rest of them were a bunch of pack of wild dogs. So Joe's trying to tell me, hey, Reg, I'm going to kind of let you go by me, but you knew you were going into Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn, and you knew you had to take your punishment, but you couldn't be a punk, right?
Yeah.
So you couldn't settle for jumpers. So Joe's like, I really wouldn't do it if I was you, but... And then Isaiah's looking over him. You couldn't get off of him, or you couldn't get off. So, Dumars.
I'd love to hear your side of this story. Come on.
But what was that language? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I told you, hood rap. Hey, Reggie, you know what always bothered me about the Pistons? The one thing, and Isaiah probably, he can't say this on national television, but we all know it's true. And every time I see him in the studio, when they were doing the 30 for 30 thing, I said, the only thing that made me mad about the Bad Boys, I don't mind. Physical intimidation is part of the game. I said, the one thing that sucked about the Bad Boys, ain't but two of them can fight. Isaiah and Joe Dumars. Bill Laimbeer always got to fight, but he was always getting hit.
Yes.
I know Mahorn can't fight. I know Dennis can't fight. John Sally maybe, but he's more of a lover than a fighter.
Right.
James Evans can fight now. But the only tough guys on the team were the guards.
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
What is that language, man?
It was bad. I can't say it on television.
Oh man, easily the Mamba.
Oh,
Kobe Bean Bryant.
Yeah.
That look, right there. I feel like hey, y'all remember the beginning of Love and Basketball, right? When the old girl, when the camera's shaking, and it's like you in the first person. That's how it was playing against him every single night. This man to come out and he was the one player. Think about it, Z, when we were playing, he'd do anything.
Yeah.
He'd shoot left hand. He'd do anything on the court, legitimately. And I had to see him in every uniform I wore.
And then he was tough.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. He was tough to the point where, like, okay, I try and, get physical, debo people. He know we ain't about to fight. He know we ain't gonna get more than a push or a shove off, and here come everybody. So he gonna be there for whatever you want. And then he gonna look at you and be like, now you got to take this 50 on by the time. Cause people like, yeah, I'm gonna give you 30. Nah, I'm for real try and give you 50. He gonna start looking crazy, doing all this, and you wanna fight him. And it's like, he don't give you nothing to wanna fight him about. You just wanna fight him cause what he doing to you.
Right.
He like, man, my people at the crib looking at this like, you do one thing, swaggy, I'm coming upside your head. Like, it's already swaggy because you're killing me in the first place. But let you do something to the crowd or something extra, like I'm about to fire on you, because it's embarrassing enough. Yeah. And the man, boy, we know the history. He 40s, 50s, legitimately.
Yeah.
Problem.
Yeah.
Easy.
Playing against Kobe Bryant is one of the ultimate competitors, because I tell you what, he might come to the game, right? Sometimes he might come to the game, he might shake your hand, right? And that could be scary. It was just the most cockiest, confident, I want to say arrogant, but he just knew he was the greatest player, at all times. And I wanted to compete with that mentality, knowing that I was the best defender.
You're a physical defender. There's no question. You watch your game, everybody knows that you're a very physical defender. Did you get the sense that he enjoyed the physicality?
No, I had no idea. This is the greatest player that I ever played against in the world. I never thought he even acknowledged me.
Kobe, toughest defender for you?
Tony Allen. That's easy. Yeah. Tony Allen. My fault.
Really?
Yeah, he was the only one that wasn't crying for help.
I would have loved to have a sit down with him. We laugh and joke about, him winning in 10, us winning in 8. But for him to acknowledge that, I just didn't know which TA he was talking about. Because I wanted to get more in depth and probably build a friendship or whatever more so than anything. And I wanted to emulate that same kind of academy on the defensive side. And then I look back, we look at those competitors, and we gotta say Kobe and TA. Yeah, that was one to watch, man.
Why was Jordan the hardest to guard?
Jordan's the toughest because he's strong as LeBron. He shoots just as good as Reggie Miller from the mid-range, and it's very hard. And he's tough, and he's he's a killer out there on the court.
What would you say was your toughest? Who did you just have a problem with?
Magic. Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, the
That's
reason,
fair.
the reason why I had a problem with him is because, again, his size being 6'9", and he had the fifth passing lane. And what I mean by the fifth passing lane, I mean, we was just all scared of Jordan. So I mean, that ain't that. When you show me against him, yeah, I get a little hot. But I would say Magic because he could throw it right over the top of your head. But we couldn't stop Jordan. I mean, I'm looking at the highlights of Jordan, and every single time we double teamed Jordan down court, but he still averaged his regular season average against the Pistons was 37.5.
Good grief.
And then some nights he would get hot, Q.
Man, that ain't hot.
On a bad night, right? We was double teaming him every single time. I'm talking about Jordan.
Right.
He gave us 60, 63. I mean, he was just unbelievable. So I couldn't say that he was my toughest to guard, because we was all guarding him.
Right.
And when we wasn't guarding him, he may have gotten 100. Literally. I mean, he was that good. But Magic for me, just a one-on-one matchup, because he was taller. He was the toughest for me to guard.
Tim Duncan. Like, most guys I could speed up and make you play at my pace. I could frustrate you. I could do this and I could do that. But with him, it didn't matter, because he was going to play at his own pace. He was going to get to his spots. He was going to shoot the shot he wanted to shoot. And I just had to make that shot as tough as possible. I'm saying? With a guy like KG, like, I know what he's finna do, so I can make him do something different. Well, like, he might make a tough shot, but I can manipulate the way he took shots and things like that. Because KG dominant right shoulder guy. I know this. Playing me, you can't go right shoulder. Tim made me start realizing I got to do my work early. Like defensive, I got to meet him at the free throw line. He made me turn my brain on, because my physical I was there physically. Wasn't go bully me, wasn't. So now he thinking it. So now I got to think it. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to say that KG wasn't doing the same thing, but me and Tim battled at the highest level in the finals. And I battled him every game I guarded. That was my matchup. So I had to think it. And then we played him in the playoffs a few times that was my matchup. So it became a thinking man's game for me, not just the physical part. So, okay, how can I manipulate where he catch the ball at? Okay, meet him at the free throw line. Push him out, don't let him walk me straight down the line. Okay, I know he want to shoot his bank shot on this side, so I'm gonna try to take that away on this side. If he shoot it on the other side of the floor, I give him the bank from the right. If he posting up on the right block, I give him the bank because he's not as effective as he shoot the bank on the left side. So it's thinking shit. So it made it fun, frustrating at times, but definitely fun. We definitely battled, man, and they definitely all of them well-deserved first ballot Hall of Famers, man.
You said that Tony Allen was the toughest guy to defend you. Who was the toughest guy to defend?
Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Kevin Durant. That was the one that I retired without really having being able to figure out what it is that how I can stop him.
Why?
When he first came in the league, he was easy to defend because he couldn't go right and shoot. You should kind of shoot across his face. So that was a weakness that he had. Also in the post, he couldn't turn left shoulder. Everything was right shoulder. So that gave me areas that I could shut off. Right? And then he started developing it. And now he can pull up left. He can pull up right. He can shoot the long ball. He has runners, left hand, right hand. Before he had a left hand finish at the rim, I could always send him left, force him all the way to the basket. Even with the advantage of his size, he was still uncomfortable finishing with his left. So I could clamp the right hand and now force him into tough situations. But now he developed that. So then I couldn't really figure out, is this a rhythm thing? I'm trying to count the seconds that he takes to make his moves. When does he make them? At what times in the game? I couldn't really figure out that rhythm yet. So I retired not being able to figure him out.
Who was the toughest defender you ever had to play against?
Oh, man. I would say you got a couple of them. First of all, Nate McMillan was tough. Yeah, man, he was tough. Joe Dumars, tough, man. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, because they rotated the dudes on me. And then I would say DJ was the toughest from Boston. He was the toughest because he was also big like I am and strong. And last but not least, my boy I had to go up against every day in practice, Michael Cooper.
Michael Cooper.
One of the best who's ever played the game at defense, man. That boy, he used to beat me up every day in practice. So those were the guys who gave me the most problems, you know, and went head-to-head again.
The best challenge that I had playing professional basketball, probably the guys that made me work hardest would probably Nate Thurman and Bob Lanier.
Nate Thurman kind of gets lost in the shuffle in terms of talking about centers from that era.
Great defensive center, tall, agile, understood how to play defense. A lot of guys beat on me and said they played good defense. He actually did it. He made me earn my points.